Hello guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. I hope you're doing very well. So on to today's videos.
Fuck!
When's your due date?
Right now!
Is your due date September 11th?
What?
How many times have you been pregnant?
3!
This is your third pregnancy? You
Yes!
have two babies
It's
at
in
home?
my ass!
You have two babies at home? Who's your doctor?
Lang is her doctor. Y'all treat all your patients like this or just the black ones?
Hey, Beverly, this is the first patient for you. Alright, last name is Jones. She's G3P2. I'm not sure when her due date is.
Her due
I
date is
just
the
said
10th.
it was the 10th!
I think her due date is the 10th.
She got 3 pregnancies, 2 babies at home.
Two,
I bet y'all listen next time. When you found out you was delivering at this hospital, your ass should have changed doctors.
Thank you.
Everybody say how they treat people here.
So this incident happened at the Dallas Regional Medical Hospital in Texas. And as we can see, we have a black woman in active labor. Not just labor, actually, it was active delivery. She was yelling things like, oh, it's in my ass, and all other things that would signal even a regular person that this person needs immediate emergency reception. But in the corner, you can see the white woman attending to her. The nurse at the reception is not even fazed, even in the slightest bit, by the fact that you had the literal patient feet away, just a few feet away, yelling and screaming in pain. She doesn't even care. The tone of her voice, it's a regular day to her. If she died, it wouldn't make a difference. This is so disheartening to watch, and it makes one very sad to even witness, because this would have just been a regular day to this nurse, just another statistic in the mortality rate. Had this woman died, like, what would it take one to care even a little bit? This is a nurse, for crying out loud. Apparently, I believe it was the patient's own mother who took this video and posted it online, and it has gone quite viral. We have so many people having so many opinions in the comment section, and we've also had people chipping in with their own experiences, the experiences of their relatives, which is so very sad to watch just how commonplace this sort of horrific treatment is in the US healthcare system. I'm going to be reading out some of these comments. April Abigail said, you said there is a belief that black people can handle higher pain, which in my mind tells me when a black person is exhibiting as much pain as that mama, then doctors and nurses need to show up sooner. That poor woman was in excruciating pain and completely ignored. Nan FL3 said, medical racism is real. I was in active labor and the nurse assigned to me refused to make sure I had an epidural. Why? She said, you don't deserve it because you are not married. Plot twist, I was very married to a Navy man who was out to sea, and I couldn't wear my wedding rings because I was too swollen. I was in labor for a total of 24 hours without any medicine for the pain. I was dilated and 10 centimeters, and all that needed to be done was to break my water. As soon as the doctor did this, my daughter pushed her way into the world. The nurse tried to apologize, but at this point, her apology meant nothing. Spintop says, it is unfortunate that in certain situations, we have to have family that either works at the hospital or has worked there with a good reputation just to get fast care. Happy at my call said, my grandmother lost her baby because the white nurse wouldn't go to the colored ward to help her. She delivered her own baby at the hospital and the cord was wrapped around her neck and the baby died. I asked my grandmother why she didn't sew, and she said that the white nurse had no obligation to help her and it could have made it worse for her family later.
This is a registered nurse named LaCrista Vaughn, and she sat here with complete disregard for a woman in active labor, screaming in pain, asking for help. And she responds to her and says, "I cannot help you." And this isn't even the first time she's been caught on camera with, in my opinion, a complete disregard for her patients. A Black trans man came in from having seizures, and according to him, he was treated like he was on substances. Which, by the way, even if someone was, they still deserve to be cared for. The woman that she treated this way, a Black woman who is already at a higher risk, she ended up delivering her baby 12 minutes after getting out of triage. Her baby had their first bowel movement while still inside of her. However, we have an update that they are doing well physically. You can't tell me as a nurse that she is not aware of the statistics of Black women in healthcare. To look at her in the eyes and say that I can't help you. And for anyone who's ever had a baby, you know how horrible this type of pain is. And I guess the hospital, allegedly in my opinion, doesn't like all this attention because they shut down their comments. I found this post very concerning where she says, "Any suggestions on switching specialties? Looking at moving from ER to labor and delivery. Are there any open residencies in DFW?" Thank God she didn't find an open residency or she changed her mind. Because she, in my opinion, shouldn't be in labor and delivery, the ER, or any type of job that involves any type of care for human life.
My father lost his mother at 16 years old due to medical malpractice while she was pregnant with a set of twins. She walked into a hospital and never returned home to her children. When I saw the video of this white nurse ignoring the pain of this woman that is clearly in labor, in active labor, I was absolutely disgusted. Not only was that sister's information already in the system because she was due to be induced that day, but this nurse, who people have identified as LaCrista Vaughn, nonchalantly handled this woman during this emergency, to which she literally delivered her son 12 minutes after. And for those who say that this is not about race, it is always about race, especially when it comes to Black people and especially when it comes to Black women in the medical system. The maternal mortality for Black women is 10 times higher than any other demographic in the United States of America. There are still racial biases that assumes that Black people can handle a higher threshold of pain to where we are not tended to, nor giving the proper care or medication to mitigate that pain. This book by Harriet A. Washington called Medical Apartheid literally details the history of medical experimentation on Black Americans in the United States. And also talk about how a lot of gynecological practices and advancements were as a result of testing Black women's bodies without medication or anesthesia. For me, it is not enough that LaCrista Vaughn loses her job. But white folks, it is time for y'all to stand up and stand within the gaps, because Black folks have been yelling into the void. It is evident that our screams, our cries, our hurt goes unheard. Y'all have the opportunity to actually advocate and stand up against things that are blatantly wrong and racist. Do something.
I'm sorry to keep calling. How can I help you?
Why take in Black patients if you want to treat them right?
I'm sorry, say that again, ma'am?
Why take in Black patients if you want to treat them right?
Ma'am, we do know about that. We're marking down the complaints about it. I can't really go into it, honestly, but I will let them know that you called and are complaining about it, and we've had many calls, trust me. Okay?
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
It's normal for them to get the paperwork and get all of your, history and stuff in the computer. What's not normal is the demeanor and the attitude that the nurse had towards her. There was no type of comforting words. There was no acknowledgement. I'm more disgusted by the behavior of the nurse, not the whole intake process. What pisses me off is that she's clearly in a lot of pain. She's in discomfort. Things could have been handled differently. If you're going into the hospital like that, you're screaming in pain, they need to be handling it differently. And no one else was in that room doing anything. That nurse was sitting there calling doctor's offices or whatever, but there was no sense of urgency. And I'm sorry, but giving birth is like life and death, okay? I know of a mom who got septic and passed away right after she gave birth. I think we forget that even though you're in a hospital setting, it is still extremely dangerous and things can go wrong. There should have been some kind of sense of urgency empathy, sympathy, something from the nurse. I don't care that we're overworked or whatever. That doesn't mean that you deserve bad care.
All in all, guys, let me know what you think about this entire situation in the comment section, and I'll be dropping updates to these videos as I find them on the net. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you get notified when I post the next video. Also, don't forget to like the video, guys. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.